In this video, you're going to learn the complete beginner's guide on building your first voice AI agent using Retell AI and n8n. In this video, we're going to be covering exactly how to create your agent that is able to check availability within a calendar, book appointments, and then it'll even go ahead and send a confirmation email to the customer that is calling. And by the end of this video, you have a complete understanding, and I'm even going to be giving away all of the blueprints, workflows, templates, and prompts that I've used in this video completely for free. And if you don't already know me, my name is Ashton. I've been helping businesses learn voice AI agents and deploying them inside their business to save time, cut costs, and drive growth. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Let's hop into Retell AI and you can learn how to build this agent for yourself. Okay, and we are in Retell AI. This is going to be the dashboard that we're using to create this voice AI agent. And as this is a complete beginner's guide, I'm going to be building this entire voice agent with Retell and n8n completely from scratch. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So first of all, you want to open up the dashboard in Retell AI and it'll look a little something like this. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth to any of the features that we don't necessarily need, as this is a beginner's guide to creating your first agent with Retell AI. So the first thing you want to do is you want to come up to the Create Agent tab up here, create a voice agent. And then from there, we need to select a single prompt agent. This is going to be for the simple agents that, appointment booking, searching up information, etc. So let's go ahead and create that template from scratch right there. Awesome. So we're going to log into this dashboard right here. And then from there, we're going to need a prompt and we're going to need also some functions, which we're going to send some information to n8n to process, to check availability, to send some confirmation emails, etc. So we're going to show you everything in that. So let's first of all give the agent a name. Let's go ahead and name it YT Retail Demo, right? Whatever you want to name your agent, that is going to be the place for that there. Then from here, we have the agent ID, which is essentially the specific agent ID inside Retell for this agent. This is very useful. In workflows such as n8n, make.com, creating outbound calls as well. The LLM ID, again, is very similar. It's just going to be the specific LLM inside Retell for this agent. The cost, this is the cost of our voice agent. And then we've got the latency here as well, which essentially is the time for how long the agent takes to respond to the customer as soon as they start speaking. So that's just some of the settings up here. Again, I won't go too in depth. The main thing we're going to be focusing on is the prompt right here. But before we get into that, we can touch on a few of these settings up here. This setting is going to be the LLM. So what is going to be the brain behind our agent, right? And you can customize this for GPT-5. You can customize this for Claude. You can customize this for Gemini. You can customize this for a bunch of different things. But in this example, we're just going to be using GPT 4.1. And then from there, we have the voice configuration. So this is going to be 11 labs, right? So we can choose between 11 labs, OpenAI, Cartesia. However, I would recommend using 11 labs. Again, you can select all the different types of voices. You can select the voice ID, the trait, the voice, and all these different things, right? We can also use gender, accent. We can filter by those variables in there, and that'll bring us the voices that we choose. But of course, I'm just going to be using this as the default voice. And then from here, it's going to be the main language of our agent. So is it English? Is it Spanish, multilingual, French, Chinese, etc.? But in this example, I'm just going to be choosing English, right? We're going to need a prompt for our voice AI agent. Essentially, this prompt is going to define the agent's role, what it's going to be doing in the conversation, how it's going to be speaking, and all those different things. So this is very important to get your prompt right so you can define what the AI agent is going to be doing in the conversation. Now, the first part of our prompt is going to be a role. So this role in this case is going to be for a med spa. Of course, for the purpose of this demo and example, you can choose whatever you want. I've just chosen a med spa right here. So you can see an example of how a prompt may look in a real world business right here. So we can see your name is Emily. You're a friendly, professional, and efficient administrative assistant in Glow Spa Clinic, a luxury med spa specializing in facials, massage therapy, laser treatment, injectables, and skin consultations. You're the first point of contact for your clients calling in, and your goal is to make every client feel welcome, valued, confident in their appointment that will be handled smoothly. So we can see right here, this role is basically defining the persona of the agent, where it is working in the business. In this case, it's going to be an administrative assistant. And then also some of the services they offer. So again, defining the role, defining the persona, and defining a little bit of context about the business as well. So that's going to be the first part, which is going to be our role. And then from there, we're going to need the task. So what is the agent going to be doing in the conversation? What is its main task? What is its main goal right here? And by the way, these little asterisks or hashtags up here is what we call markdown formatting. It essentially allows the AI to see this prompt a little bit better. These are called headings right here. So if you imagine what a text would be like, it would be a heading in there. So we can see it's going to be a heading and then normal text for the role, a heading, and then normal text for the task. So that's what we call these little asterisks here. If you're wondering, it's called markdown format. And then the task, your primary task is to efficiently schedule new appointments for clients seeking med spa services. So that's going to be the main task of the agent. And then from there, we will use something what we call chain of thought prompting. So essentially, this is what it looks like, right? So essentially, it just means chain of thought prompting, which is going to be guiding the AI through a step-by-step process on how to conduct the conversation. And within this chain of thought prompting, we can use different tool runs, function runs, how to book appointments, check availability, collect information. So that's really the best use case for guiding the AI agent on how to conduct the conversation. So right here, task, your primary task is to efficiently schedule new appointments for clients seeking MedSpa services. So number one is going to be initial greeting and inquiry. Greet the caller warmly, professionally, creating a welcoming first impression, and then politely ask how they can assist them and carefully listen to their needs. Clarify the type of service they are interested in. For example, is it a facial, massage, laser treatment, injectable, skin consultation? Whatever, right? So we can see this is how we're going to be guiding the AI through the first part of the conversation. Then step 2 is going to be appointment scheduling. So ask for their preferred date and time for the appointment and run the check availability function to find available slots. Suggest 2 to 3 options to the client, emphasizing a 1-hour duration for standard sessions. If none of the suggested times work, ask the client for an alternative time and then rerun the check availability. So again, this is a little bit of prompt engineering. If the AI agent doesn't find an available time initially through that first search, it's then going to go back and rerun the check availability function to then find an available time. Step 3 is going to be confirmation and closing. Clearly restate the confirmed appointment details with the date, time, and type of treatment to the client. Ask if there is anything else you can assist them with before politely ending the call. Confirm that the client will receive a confirmation email, and then your ability to quickly and efficiently schedule appointments contributes to the client's satisfaction and overall clinic efficiency. So again, you can see how I've used that step-by-step chain of thought prompting from the initial greeting and inquiry all the way to the confirmation and closing. So just really capturing as much of that conversational process inside this section of our prompt, which is going to be the task. And then from there, we're going to need the example conversation. So this is very useful within our AI agents to help guide the AI agent how to conduct an example conversation, how a conversation might go. So we can give a little bit of context to the agent previously before the customers even called the phone. So we can see right here, this is an example conversation that has just been generated, obviously. And we can see there's a few key things. 1 is letting the AI agent know how to conduct a conversation. And 2, letting the AI agent know when to call those tools. So when to call the check availability, when to call the book appointment, when to call all these different types of tools. So we can see right here, we have the run book appointment tool. So letting the AI agent know when to run the book appointment. And then overall, this conversation is just a general overview on how a conversation might go. So that's really, that's really important for our voice AI agent prompt. And then finally, we've got a little bit of context about the business. So I'm going to go ahead and add this in. And of course, if you do want this prompt, go ahead to my free resource hub, download it. It'll all be in there. So again, giving a little bit of context to the agent about the business. Right here, we've got the current time. This is what we call a dynamic variable inside Retell AI. Of course, for your time zone, you can change it here. If it was America, Los Angeles or America, Chicago, or whatever time zone you're in, you need to make sure you're changing this. And this is really important to give the AI agent the current time because it helps with processing the book appointments. It makes sure that all the times are in the future, and it makes sure that the agent correctly processes all of the booking information as well. So we can see that's very important up there. And then the second step, Glow Spa Make Clinic, is a luxury wellness center and beauty center. So again, just giving a little bit of context about the business, and kind of their mission statement as well, and the brand details, etc. All appointment slots are typically 1-hour sessions. So again, a little bit more prompt engineering. Never book appointments in the past. So yeah, you kind of get it. That's a little bit of the context. And then lastly is going to be the final notes. So conversation guidelines. These are just, the final icing on the cake to make our voice agent sound conversational. So we can see conversation guidelines. Use everyday conversational language. Keep responses short and natural, 2 to 3 sentences max. Use the client's name throughout the conversation, then add natural speech fillers. So again, this part is just reiterating to the voice agent to sound natural and conversational. So yeah, this is going to be our prompt right here. So let's go ahead and click save. And of course, you'll get this prompt completely for free in my free resource hub. Just go ahead and paste it in. It'll all work. And then from here, we're going to change the welcome message to AI speaks first. Then we're going to do custom message right here. Hello, how can I help you today? We'll just do hello. This is Emily, from Glow Spa Med Clinic. We'll just copy and paste that. How can I help you today? Right. So this is going to be the first static message that is going to be presented to the customer as soon as they call inside the med clinic. So that's going to be what the agent is saying each time we call it. Just fix up those spelling issues. Awesome. So yeah, that's going to be the first static message that is going to be saying each time. So let's go ahead, make sure that's all good. And then from there, we're going to need the function. So this is where we're going to be processing a check availability and then also a book appointment as well. Let's go ahead and add that right now. First of all, we're going to go ahead and click add custom function down here in the bottom. And then we're going to need a few configurations in here to make this happen. So essentially what's happening in the background is within our prompt, we're telling the agent when to run the functions. And then from there, the agent's going to be collecting different information from the transcript, and it's going to be sending it via JSON to our automation platform, such as n8n and make.com. So name right here, let's name it check availability right there. And then description to check the slots of the calendar. All right, awesome. So again, this description is going into the LLM, telling the agent what the purpose of this tool is for. And then from there, we're going to need an API endpoint. So this is where we're going to head over to n8n right here. You want to create a new workflow inside your n8n account, create workflow. And then from there, you want to add the first step. So the first step is going to be a webhook trigger. So again, this webhook is going to be receiving that information that we have collected from Retell to then process the check availability. So we're going to put this webhook here, and then we're going to grab this test URL, but we need to make sure this is on post method first, and then also this response method, we're going to leave it to immediately now, but when we've finished the overall workflow, we need to change it to using response webhook node, right? So, but for now, obviously, because we're putting some test data in and we're building this from scratch, we'll just leave it from immediately right there, right? So go ahead and copy and paste that test URL. And by the way, the difference between both of these URLs is the test URL can only be activated upon a trigger inside n8n. And then the production URL is for obviously production ready workflows that will run automatically without having to execute the workflow. But we're going to be using a test URL in this example so you can see how to map out the data and build out everything, right? All right, so we'll go ahead and paste that in right here into the API endpoint. So that's going to be our webhook address right there. And then from here, we need to have some parameters. So again, I'm going to be using the form option in this one, but essentially reiterating what I said before is it's just sending that information via JSON, via objects, right? But Retell makes it really easy. We can just add in a form. So for the check availability, what type of data may we need? So we might just need the time of the customer, right? So we can just do time. And then we'll do the requested time of the customer. Change that right there. Okay, so we can see that's going to be the description. Again, that description is going into the LLM, right? All right, perfect. So from there, that will be all good to go. Let's go ahead and click save right there. Invalid tool name. Okay, so we just need to make sure we have a space. Of course, make sure this is all one word. That's my bad up there. Yep, so that'll work. Awesome. So let's go ahead and save that right here. So now let's test the agent, and we can put some test data in that workflow to build out everything right here. Let's say, hello, do you have tomorrow at 3 p.m., right? We'll go ahead and put some test data in there. Let's come back to the workflow. Let's execute it. We can come back to Retell, click send. It's going to put some test data inside this workflow. Awesome. So now we can continue to build out this agent with the test data we have in here. So if we come to the schema and we can see that is that test data with that time right there, with the argument name right there. So now we can put in this data to then further process the availability, right? So now let's go ahead and add in an AI agent. I'm going to go to define below. And we're going to need a prompt right here. And of course, I'm just going to be using a template that I've already got. And I'm going to be showing you this prompt and running through everything. So right here, I'm going to be pasting this prompt. If you do want this prompt, make sure to go down to my free resource hub and everything will be in there. So we can see the purpose of this AI agent is just to simply check the availability in the calendar, right? And we're going to need to prompt the agent how to check the availability in n8n. So this is exactly what this prompt is doing, right? We have a role. You're an appointment availability checker. Your job is to get the requested time and use the calendar to check availability for the customer. Your current date and time is now. So again, this is what we call, just a JSON right here inside n8n. This is an inbuilt feature. So we can see if we go, that's going to get the current time within the system, right? So we can use that current time, and then we can use the customer's requested time and prompt the agent on how to check the availability. Calendar data, so working hours, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., right? So letting the AI agent know the available slots of the agent. Length of each slot, 1 hour. Booking process. So this is going to be how the agent is going to book the calendar. So check if the customer's requested time is available using the calendar. If the time is available, let the AI model know and confirm to it. And then if the time is unavailable, suggest up to 2 alternative slots close to the requested time by checking the availability again. If there are no request slots upon checking within that day, search within the next weekday from the current time and then provide alternative slots. Response and output. So after the AI agent has successfully executed the booking process, we're then going to need to prompt the agent on how to get its response, right? If the requested time is available, confirm to it by saying, for example, the requested time of 10 a.m. June 22nd is available. Just to confirm, would you like to book this, right? So again, a little bit of prompt engineering on how to, conduct the output and the response of the agent. And then from here, we've got important notes. So you must not output your result in the past. Always check availability in the future and then use the current time you have received and the requested data to help make that decision. Your ability to follow these steps is precisely your ability to follow these steps precisely is very crucial and can impact the business's reputation. So you can see this is going to be our prompt right here. And that's going to be all good right there. And then from there, we need to add in a chat model. So what is going to be the brain behind this workflow, helping the AI agent decide what to do? And in this model, we're just going to be using OpenAI. Add that language model right there. And then we're going to need to connect an account. Now, I've already connected an account, but I will show you how to actually connect an account. So what you want to do is you want to head over to the OpenAI developer platform. Right, awesome. So make sure you log into the platform in OpenAI in the API keys. And then you want to create a new secret key up here. So again, I'm just going to be naming this, right, n8n up the top. And then I'm just going to create a new secret key. And it's going to give us this long line of API keys. We're going to click copy, come back to our n8n workflow, and then paste in everything right there. Awesome. So that's all pasted in. And then we're going to click out. And then from here, we can select the model. Now, because this is a fairly simple task, we're just going to be using GPT 4.1 mini right here. Let's go ahead and select that. Come back to the canvas, and that's going to be all good. So now we have our OpenAI brain and model connected to the agent. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a tool. So this tool is going to be a check availability tool. Now, of course, if you're working within a business, you would go ahead and connect to their tools via a module or an API request. But in this example, I'm just going to be using a Google Calendar because this is a demo, of course. So let's go ahead and do Google Calendar right here. And then from there, we're going to need to configure a few things. So obviously, make sure you connect your Google account. Just go ahead and sign in with Google right there. It's an inbuilt sign-in feature that we have. But of course, I've already connected my account because I don't need to do that. Tool description set automatically. Resource is going to be an event. A calendar. And then the operation is going to be availability. Calendar is going to be from your calendar right here with your email. And then start time will let the model define. And then end time will also let the model define. And the reason we can do that is because we have prompted the AI agent to do so, and the AI agent is smart enough and will already know what to do in that scenario. Perfect. And then from there, let's go ahead and add in our webhook response. So webhook response down here, and then we're going to need first incoming item. And then from here, we're going to go back to this webhook, and we're going to change it to using response webhook node. So now this will be all good to go and process some check availability inside the calendar, and then it'll also return other slots as well. So let's go ahead and name this workflow. We'll just name it check slots, YT demo retail, right? Go ahead and give it a name, click save. And of course, I'm going to be giving you this workflow for free so you can just implement it inside your account. Right, awesome. That's going to be all good from there. And then let's go back over to retail and let's add in the next function. So this function is going to be a book appointment function. So let's come down to custom function again. We're going to name it, and we're going to name it book appointment right there. Description to book a appointment. Businesses calendar. Awesome, right? So to book the appointment on the business calendar, and then the API endpoint, very, very similar to our previous workflow. We're going to be coming back into n8n, creating a new workflow in there, and then adding a first step. Of course, it's going to be that webhook, right? And the reason why we do this is so we get some data in to build out that workflow. Starts when the webhook is called. That's going to be our trigger. Make sure we have it to post, respond. We'll just leave it as immediately. Get that test URL, come back into this post section right here. And that's all we're going to need in there. And then from here, forms. So because this is a little bit different, we're going to need a few parameters, right? So first of all, we're going to need the name. So we're going to need the name. And then the description, pretty simple. Name of the customer. From here, email, right? So we're going to need the email to also process the booking. And this relates back to our prompt, prompting the agent what to collect in the conversation. So email of the customer. And then here is going to be, I believe, the service type. So the service type. So the service type behind that customer. Is it a facial? Is it a massage? What is it, right? The type of service. Some extra information in there. And then from there, we're going to need the confirm time, right? So we can't use the same time before. We need a confirm time because if that requested time previously in the next function comes back as unavailable, we can't use that time. We're going to need a confirm time, right? We'll just prompt it time actually, and then we can put in the description the confirmed time. The confirmed time for the appointment. And then we'll just put after the slots have been checked. All right, awesome. So now we have everything all good to go. And let's go ahead and click save up here. Let's make sure that's all good. Okay, save. Awesome. Now, where of course it's going to be asking for everything. We'll just do, can we do a facial? You can see, just checking availability. All right, so let's go ahead and X out of this and let's run a new chat. Let's activate this workflow. You can see how that's going to work. And let's also activate this workflow to get some test data in there so we can build out the final workflow, right? Let's go, hello. Do you have slots for tomorrow at 3 p.m.? It's going to come in. It's going to check this availability in the calendar. We can see successfully checking it. Let's see what it returns. You can see, yes, we do have a slot tomorrow at 3 p.m. Can we do a massage? And it's going to ask for some more details. And then, yep, so email, that's all it's going to need. Let's send that in. And then we're going to put some data inside this workflow. All right, having a little bit of trouble there. Looks like would you like me to take on any reservations? Yeah, so this sometimes might happen in Retell because we have a timeout on the workflow. So let's prompt it to try again. And then we should get some data in here. Yep, awesome. So yeah, sometimes that happens is if the workflow or if the execution runs too long, it won't actually call it properly. That's just the configuration issue. But after we've got both these workflows, we can switch it to a production URL, which is what I'll show you at the end. But yeah, you just got to refresh it. And then from there, we're going to add the AI agent just like before. We'll add define below, and then we're going to need a prompt and user message right here. So again, prompting the agent on how to handle a book appointment in this case. So we're going to put this in here, and that's going to be our prompt. So you are an appointment booking AI agent. Your job is to use the create event in Google Calendar, and you must get the details of the customer to create a new event / booking in the calendar. The confirmed time is this. So that's going to be the confirmed time, which is going to be that right there. So we can just see, let's just put in that time again so you can see how it maps it back. That's going to be the confirmed time, of course. And the appointment duration will be 1 hour. So prompting the agent on how to handle that booking and add 1 hour. So simply add 1 hour to the confirmed time, use the confirmed time as the start time, and then simply add 1 hour onto the confirmed time to get the end time, right? So just prompting the agent on how to handle that. If the event has been scheduled, please provide your output in this format. And then we're giving an example on how to provide its output. And then send email. You will also send an email tool to send a confirmation email to the customer that their appointment has been booked. So we're also going to be adding a confirmation email to send after the booking has been processed. So let's come out, and then we're going to add the chat model again. Again, let's add OpenAI. Again, you've already connected your account, so you won't need to connect it again in this workflow. And then from there, we're going to add 2 tools, right? We're going to add a Google Calendar book event tool, and then we're also going to add a Gmail tool to send a email to the customer, right? So we're going to add Google Calendar, and then we'll do event create from calendar will just be my calendar. Start and end time, let the AI model define. And then we're going to add 2 things right here. We're going to add a description. So again, this is going to be some of the appointment details, such as the service type, the time, etc., the name of the customer. And this will be put inside the description of the Google Calendar, right? So let's go ahead and add in this right here. So let's do name, name, we're going to open this up actually. Name, time, email, and then we'll do type, right? Change this. Right, so now let's map in that data that we have from that webhook right here. So come down, and then we're going to put name in there. I think I'm just going to have to configure this data. Oh. All right, name, type. It's going to be the service type. Time is going to be that, and then the email is going to be that, right? Awesome. So now that's going to show up in the description. So that's exactly what it's going to look like, right? All right, awesome. And then from there, let's add a summary. So this is going to be the title of the event, right? And we can just do new appointment for, and then we can put the name again, so you can see how we can customize these fields for each booking. And then we'll just do at the time, right? At that time, right? Awesome. So this will be all good to go. That will work. Let's come back to the canvas. Let's add one more tool, which is going to be a send confirmation email after the booking has been complete. So let's go down to Gmail tool. Obviously, you want to connect your Gmail account. Just sign in with Google. Pretty simple right there. And then from there, we're going to do message, send, and then to, right? And then the to email is going to be this email right here, right? That's going to be that email. The subject will just be appointment booking confirmation, right? Appointment booking confirmation. And then we can just do like for whatever the name is. And then we'll just do at the time right there. Right, so that's what the subject is going to look like. Just fix up these little spaces in here. Okay, awesome. All good. So then let's do text right here, message, and then we'll just say hello, name. So you can see how we can customize this quite easily. This is a confirmation email that your appointment for a massage has been successfully booked at time. And we're going to see, we look forward to there, right? Awesome. I'm going to do glow spa. Right, so now the agent will successfully send this email as a confirmation email, right? Fix up that error. All right, awesome. So let's go back to Canvas. And the final thing we're going to need to do is just add in that response webhook node. So we come back here, respond to webhook, and then we'll do first incoming item, and then we'll change this to response using webhook node. All right, awesome. So now we have everything built out. And the final thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to grab these production URLs. Let's come back to Retell, and we're going to change it in. So now that we've used the test URL, we've built out everything, we know it works, right? Let's come back to Retell AI, and let's swap in these production URLs for these test URLs. So now when we call the agent, we're not going to need to execute everything, right? Let's make sure we go ahead and click update on each of these things. Got the production URL. Let's come back. Let's switch it to active, right? Got it. And then it's saved right here. Let's name it. We'll do book appointment. All right. Retell All right, awesome. So let's go ahead. So that will work now. We can switch it to the executions tabs, and we can see the executions. Let's come back to the check availability. Let's do the same thing. Production URL, grab it, come back here. Paste it in here. Paste that in. Update. And then we'll come back, switch it to active. Got it, all right. So now let's give the agent a final test with a ring, and we can see everything, and we can see the executions, and then you can see it's going to book it inside this Google Calendar right here. So, all right, so now let's go ahead and test the agent, and we can see what we've built.
Hello, this is Emily from Glow Med Spa Clinic. How can I help you today?
Hey, how you going, Emily? Look, I'd just like to book in a appointment for tomorrow at 2 p.m. Do you have any slots then?
Hey, thanks for asking. I'm doing well. So you'd like to book an appointment for tomorrow at 2 p.m. That slot is available. What service were you hoping to book in for?
I would like to do a facial. My name is Ashton Voss, and my email is ashtonvoss47@gmail.com.
Thanks, Ashton. Your facial is all booked for tomorrow, October 8th at 2 p.m. You'll get a confirmation email shortly. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
All right, awesome. So you can see it successfully checked the availability in the calendar, and then it went ahead and created the event and then sent the email right there. So yeah, we can come back to the Google Calendar and we can see that it's got all of the requirements in the description. It's got the summary. It's successfully booked it for 2 p.m. So yeah, that's a beginner's guide on how to use Retell AI and n8n to create your first voice AI agents that will check availability and book appointments. So, yeah, if you are a business owner and you are looking to build these solutions and have these solutions built for you, feel free to book a free discovery call in the link description below. And yeah, but without further ado, I'll go ahead and see you in the next video and take care. Bye.